Welcome back, everybody. Okay, now the leisure of summertime is almost behind us. And now, let's face it, schedules speed up. We've got school starting, traffic is thickening, and you know, even the weather changes will have an effect on our stress. And did you know that stress-related illnesses account for a huge majority of visits to the doctor? Well, author, holistic pharmacist, lifestyle expert Sherry Torkos is back with some great information on stress and how you can help relieve it naturally. So it's nice to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
So relaxing. Yes, I feel calmer already
just
with you here.
Just talking about how we can make some changes with our lifestyle, our diet. All of these things have a big impact on our ability to cope with stress.
Being a pharmacist, I had no idea how many people go into their pharmacist and say, do you have something for anxiety? Do you have something for stress?
It's huge. And, you know, on a regular basis, people are looking for things that calm them, that take the edge off. And what I've seen, though, is an evolution. People are getting away from wanting the prescription tranquilizers and sedatives, and they're looking at natural products, supplements. And the pharmacy is a perfect place to ask about that. As a pharmacist, we can give advice on supplements, vitamins, herbs, and things that can help naturally. You know, the problem with a lot of the prescription tranquilizers is they impair your short-term memory, they impact your ability to sleep, and then they can cause a lot of other problems like addiction down the road. So not such a good idea unless you absolutely have to have them. I
was reading the information that you sent along, and I had no idea some of the far-reaching effects of stress. Well, I mean, let's face it, if you get sick enough, it'll bring on death, but stress really has a physical effect on us.
It does. You know, I think a lot of people realize when they're stressed, their heart races. Maybe their palms sweat. Maybe they notice they get some muscle or back tension, but they might not realize that stress is actually linked to some very serious conditions: heart disease, cancer, infertility, even weight gain. Recent studies have linked stress to weight gain, low thyroid function, the list goes on. Pretty much it's at the root of many chronic conditions that we suffer with. So, you know, it's really essential to find ways to cope with stress. As you mentioned, we're back into the fall season. School, work holidays are finished, so we really need to kind of find ways to cope better.
All right, we know we're going to be busier. Well, let's face it, the kids have to catch the bus. Do you have the lunch? You're going to be checking for homework. All right. Let's fix us first.
Okay, let's take it the inside.
we can work with the kids and be great parents when they finally come home from school. Let's work on what we can do, and over here, nutrition.
Right, nutrition is critical. What we eat impacts our ability to cope with stress and impacts our overall well-being. And you see I've got lots of leafy green vegetables, lettuces, and I'll say that some of these are from my garden.
Oh, they look lovely.
Broccoli. The nuts and seeds, what these foods all have in common is that they're very high in magnesium and B vitamins, and these are some nutrients that your body needs to be able to cope better and handle stress. So you want to try and have more of these in your diet. Flaxseed, good source of good fats, which are important for nervous system function, and flaxseed, of course, is a good source of fiber as well. Now, I brought some functional beverages, and what's really interesting, this one here, this Blue Cow, it's a relaxation drink, and this one is a vitamin water. Be relaxed. They actually contain an ingredient called Suntheanine, which is a green tea extract that actually makes us feel calm and relaxed without making us drowsy. It gives you heightened mental clarity without really knocking you out and making you tired. So this Suntheanine is becoming very popular. It's in beverages, but you'll also see it in supplement form. And some of these supplements here, these are just different brands of products that contain this Suntheanine. And what studies have shown is that it does promote calming, relaxation, it's non-addictive, and it's non-drowsy. So it's very good for people suffering with stress, also insomnia or sleep issues.
We're going to open the phones in our next segment, so you feel free to ask Sherry anything you like, but would these interfere with any medication somebody might be on?
Well, I think it's always a good idea to talk to your pharmacist or doctor. There aren't any known interactions.
Oh, that's good.
In fact, there have been some reports looking at this as a better alternative to some prescription tranquilizers. So it may be something you may want to consider switching to. In terms of safety profile, much better than the prescription drugs. It doesn't cause the addiction, the impaired memory, any of those types of effects. And Suntheanine, you'll find it in different dosages, anywhere anywhere from 50 to 200 milligrams, and that would be a good dosage. And it's been clinically studied too.
That's really good to know.
These are all great things.
Okay.
And then you see I've got chocolate.
I did notice chocolate at the end of the table.
Everyone gets excited. Chocolate's okay. Yes, in fact, chocolate can be beneficial because it does contain magnesium, and certain chocolates you'll find today actually have other ingredients added to them. I've got this one white chocolate bar here. It's called Inner Calm, and that contains the suntheanine along with other extracts that help promote calming, relaxation. And this doctor's chocolate, these are chocolate raspberry truffles that have calming ingredients in them. So chocolate can actually be beneficial if you're suffering with stress, and it makes you feel good. It's one of those comfort foods.
Well, that's one of the foods everybody runs to.
Yeah, it is. And rather than running to having a drink or having a cigarette, you'd be a lot better off to have something like chocolate, have one of these relaxation beverages, your Be Relaxed or one of these other drinks.
I noticed at the end, is that for meditation on the end of those?
It is. This is one of my favorite CDs that I actually listen to when I'm doing stretching and relaxation exercises. And in order to really promote calming in the evening, if you've had a really tough, stressful day, put on some nice calming music. And you see this little guy here, this is just my little stress ball. You can kind of give him a squeeze on your desk if you're feeling stressed. But the relaxation music is great for stretching, yoga, Tai Chi. Even if you only have 10 minutes to spare at the end of the day, take time to do some stretches. It helps to relieve tension in the neck, the shoulders, the back, just make you feel a lot better.
Also, try to, because look, we're going into a busy season, try to, and this is just Linda's, theory, work in something like a massage once a month. Just the fact that you made the phone call makes you feel better, that you know you have a date on the calendar, that you're going to do this. Something for yourself. You're running for everybody else all month. Take 1 hour out of your day when the kids are at school, maybe like an 11 o'clock appointment. You know they're going to be there for you. That way you can come home. And I know that you also advise, too, take a warm bath. Little lavender. Yeah,
just a few minutes.
Scents in the house.
Yeah, and actually I have a little bottle of lavender that I brought with me. And you can find these essential oils in a health food store or pharmacy. And you can put a few drops of lavender into your bath water. You can also put a few drops on your pillow. And lavender is one of those essential oils. It gives you the aromatherapy benefits of making you feel calm and relaxed. So you can try that. But taking time for yourself is so important. The massage you mentioned, acupuncture too. There are certain trigger points where you can have needles put in. They're not painful. They're tiny little needles that actually promote calming.
Oh, well, it sounds great to me, Sherry. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, phones are open, 644-9840. If you have a question, a comment, or maybe you even have a great idea on what helps relieve your stress, we'd love to know. All right? So take a deep breath, take a break, and we'll be right back. Author and pharmacist Sherry Torkos is back with some great advice on combating stress and anxiety naturally. And we're going to be talking about